Now you got this, so
That's why his face is all red.
we really
Nice.
appreciate you being here and helping us out. My name is Mrs. Schmidt. It's good to
Hi,
meet
my
you.
name's Jackson.
Hey, Jackson. Good to meet you. So Jackson, do you know why you're here?
Yep.
Okay, can you tell us why?
To be like a helper with the argumentative writing.
Right, yeah, so, well, and then it's actually even more than that. So hold on, here's what's happening.
Little do you know.
There's a way where teachers can work with a student one-on-one, and it's called a conferring session. And there's lots of different formats. I'm sure you've had a conferring session with your teacher already. And this has specific steps to it. So they wanted to see what it looks like, and then they want to know what you think about it,
Okay.
because then they're going to decide whether it's something that they might bring into the school or not.
Okay.
So here's what's interesting, is they're all really watching me, and then at the end, when you're all done with your work, they're just gonna ask, then they're gonna focus on you and say, what'd you think about it?
Okay.
So even though you're here doing work, they're really kinda just watching me.
Okay.
So thank you for being here to
Yep.
play along, so I don't look weird doing steps without a student, so. Thank you. Okay, so you're working on argumentative writing? What article are you reading right now? So you can start the time.
Right now we're learning about if like the school should ban chocolate milk, and I have it right here.
And as you're studying articles about chocolate milk, what kind of work are you practicing doing as a reader? So some work that goes on in this kind of, when you're reading this kind of argumentative work, is you're doing work of looking for main ideas and supporting details, or you're looking for claim, reasons, and evidence. So what work are you doing?
What I'm doing is, should extreme sports be worth the risk?
Okay.
And I have it in my computer.
Okay, and as you're doing, should extreme sports,
Be worth the risk?
should they be worth a risk? Are you doing some of that readerly way around finding claims? Okay, and so how is that work going for you?
Good.
Tell me about the work you're doing around claims or reasons or evidence. Tell me what you're doing.
What I'm doing is we're doing for or against. Like, for would be like, are extreme sports worth the risk, and against is should they're not, and that's what we're doing. And then we have these articles that we're reading. We have like 6 articles for each thing, and we're reading them, and we're finding ideas and then putting them in what we think they are, like for or against.
And how is that work going about determining whether it's for or against?
Sometimes it's hard because some of the articles don't have much stuff to give, like more. They don't have a lot of details, so you have to go to another one.
Let's see where some of that work is hard.
Like this is what we're doing. Like this is for like why I think extreme sports are worth the risk and why they're not. And like,
So can you show me an article where
Yep.
you're doing the reading work?
no, it would be.
Reading. You don't have to worry about how fast you find this or not.
Okay.
It's not a big deal.
Here are some of the articles like for my group, and like we'll have to read over these and then do sometimes call action and
So was this an article where it was hard for you to do the work, or was this?
yeah.
Okay, so show me where it
Oh,
felt
another
hard.
one is this one. My hardest one was. Now I have to go do that whole thing over again.
Oh, I can show you, okay, I'll show you a trick next time.
This one.
Plus he just got a new computer, so today.
Yes.
So excited, you did a good job.
This one, it has a lot of Venn diagrams and everything. But the hard thing is since I'm doing like a Google Doc, I can't put these Venn diagrams in, so it's really hard to tell this information.
Okay, so show me where you're noticing some work you want to put in to your chart.
Like This I want to put indefinitely because it says what one's the toughest and what sports are the toughest, and I don't know how to put that in my writing.
Okay, so, so tell me, touch the part on here that you wanna put in your writing. So just hit this black arrow and it'll go back to where you were, right here. Okay, so touch something in the text you wanna put in your writing that you don't know how. Do the back arrow.
Okay.
And you can just read it instead of clicking. Yeah.
A recent 2012 survey of action sports athletes revealed that motocross
I just did it to you too. Yeah. Okay, there you go. Okay.
athletes were perceived to be the toughest, and I want to show to do that and then show what ones are the toughest and what ones are the easiest.
Okay, so, so can I give you a compliment? Okay, already you know that you're finding interesting information that fits into the work that you need. So you already know what, and you have a plan for taking something out and putting it in. And what's holding you up is it's hard because you can't copy and paste, right? So now you have to think, what's another thing I can do besides copy and paste? So can I
Right.
give you a tip?
Yeah.
Okay. So what you do is you make this smaller. So what I'm doing, teachers, is I'm making his screen smaller. Made it smaller like that. And then what you do is you take this article, and when you put the arrow on the tab, you click, you hold it, and it'll drag over. Did you know you could pop it out?
No.
So teachers, this is what I did. If you click on the tab and pull it over, now you can split your screen.
Yes.
Then, when you turn this
No,
into a
I just
double
learned how to
arrow
do
up
that
on
yesterday.
top, you make it smaller over here. And then, now you can see this. And now, you can see both at the same time. Now do you have a way where you could take this data and put it in there in an
Yes.
easy way? Okay, so tell me what you just learned.
I learned how to take the stuff that I want to know, double tasking mostly. And you can see what you're what I'm doing right now is extreme sports. I can see what I want to put in over here, and then I can put it in my own words.
Okay, and so now I wanna watch you do that again. So what I'm gonna do is click on here and put it back. So that didn't work, so I'm gonna take this away and have you start the process all over,
Okay.
just so that we know you know how to do it.
Communication class tomorrow.
Oh, did you find another? Okay, there it is.
And then
So you have that.
mhm.
Back arrow, go back up here. And you wanna show this now.
Yeah.
So now you're ready to show others too, okay? So the key is to create split screens, so it's easy when you can't copy and paste, okay? So, all right, so now we're done. So how do you feel about conferring one-on-one when you follow this format? Where you're telling me what you need, and then I'm nudging you forward.
I like this because you can see what you want to put in your own words, and then you can keep looking back of what all these details right here. You can keep looking at. You can do one at a time. Just keep looking back.
So you like the actual tip I gave you.
Mhm.
Now, aside from the tip I gave you, what I did is I asked you how your work is going. I asked you to show me a tricky spot so I could give you a tip. And you decided how your learning was gonna go. How do you feel about that kind of conference?
Good.
Okay, and what's good about you telling me what you need?
Because then maybe you could go over to other students and start doing this too.
Other kids could benefit from this as well. What would happen if I kept doing this to all the students in your class?
I feel like the work would be easier.
Okay, all right, so thank you. Okay, so that was pretty easy, huh? All right, thank you so much for coming in here. You can head back to class.
Thanks,
Jackson, you did an awesome job. Thank
And
you.
by the way, Jackson, you're so much easier for me to coach on the computer than my husband. Longer time to go through that, thank you.
Thank you, Jackson.
Okay, so that wasn't actually in Readerly Ways, that was a technology tip that really is gonna advance him as a reader. But,
Oh my
so,
gosh, is he adorable?
he is adorable.
He's so adorable.
Yeah. He actually reminds me, I don't know if you've ever watched the conferring video where Lucy is talking about a student who's writing a memoir and he's writing about his best friend John.
I've seen that one.
He does the same thing to Lucy when he's talking, like that. The same thing that Jackson was doing, it was so cute, so, and he looks just like him too, so. Alright, so general impressions about this kind of conferring, or what you saw, what were your general impressions about this event?
Well, I definitely picked up right up, and the two of you are absolutely right. Let Jackson now be the teacher to the whole class, and I know you do that a ton.
Yeah.
I mean, it's wise, because then they can be that teacher, and it saves so much more time, and it empowers them to, be kind of that, instructional,
Right.
for a while, they can take on that role.
Right, yeah,
I'm really big on having kids take responsibility for their own learning,
yeah,
and so I'm always trying to find more ways to help them do that, and for them to say, for me to ask them, where are you finding a tricky place, or where is it hard for you, and so that might, me asking them that just kind of helps them tune into that,
I like
so
that
that when
question.
I get there, I don't have to try to find where their problems
Yes.
are.
Right.
That saves a lot of time.
Cause who knew that was a problem?
I know,
didn't know
right?
it was a problem, I was like,
I know.
it's like, it's never asked, I was like, are your claims good enough? You know what I mean?
right, so if it's this kind, you get some information, if it's this kind, you get other kinds of information. Yeah, that's a good point. What were some other general impressions?
A conference can really go any way, you can't predict it, and I mean, I knew that, but at the same time, I think sometimes I bring it my way regardless, and I think I really, really, really do need to just be like, so, what's holding you up, what's a spot that's tricky, and always, always, always before I give them help, make sure I compliment them.
Yeah.
I need to make sure I do that.
Because, and did I talk to you about that before, about the brain as the detection
Not
of
in
patterns
this-
and the acquisition of programs?
You said it
You mentioned it,
before.
but.
Okay, so here's the thing, is that when something isn't going right, you feel like, it's not going right, I need to start all over, I need a plan B. And so what'll happen is, the good work that they were doing, the brain was doing, when you come and give advice and you don't acknowledge what's already in place, what'll happen is the brain could do one of two things. It could say, you know what, ditch that, don't ever do that again, and just do all of this new things that your teacher said. And they might not even recognize that this new thing was connected to the good work that they've done. And then, so that can happen, and so that's called retroactive inhibition. And then the other thing that can happen is, moving forward, they'll think that this is the new program, and when they come to a place where they could take on that way that the brain figured out how to do something on its own without instruction, the brain will go, nope, we ditched that already, don't bring it up. And so that moment can actually cause problems in the future too. What you wanna do is really communicate explicitly to the brain and say, no, this part of what you're doing is right, and now I'm adding on to that, or I'm revising it, and be very explicit, so. Okay, so that was that piece. What were some other things?
I usually have a smartboard screen open,
Yeah,
and the kids sign up when they need help with something.
beautiful.
And so generally, they'll come to me and they'll say, okay, I'm having trouble with this, what can I do, so that helps,
Yeah.
and if I forget, can I put that up on the board, and all of a sudden I have a list. Because I also started that because you've always got the students who are really good at advocating for themselves. And they always seem to get their needs met, but then you have that kind of quieter kid who doesn't, you know, Mrs. Ertz, Mrs. Ertz, Mrs. Ertz, you know.
Yeah.
And so by signing up, then it's just more fair, because I can say, well, it looks like, you know, so-and-so's next, you know,
Yep.
and that kind of thing. And so, I don't know, it's a good way to
That
manage
is,
it, for me
thank you for
anyway.
adding that, yep.
I just like how empowered he was. I just, you know, he, even though he wasn't sure, he was a great sport anyhow, but he had that sense of empowerment after that he could share that information. And it also reminded me of, when I was in my classroom, when we were doing, writing things or reading things or whatever, just having the kids share, like even just on a Padlet, give me, for right now, the area of focus right now,
Yeah.
what is a strength, what is an area of need, so that they could tap into each other in that respect too. Okay, so Janet's really good at that and I'm not, I can go to Janet, because it says right there that Janet feels pretty confident with that, so that they do start to use each other as resources
Yeah.
around too, because as you said, Vicki, we can't, you know, we can't be the only holder of all of the information and all of the thinking, so. Yeah.
So, going on that, how the end of workshop might go today is, if you're gonna confer with 2 or 3 kids, how it might go at the end is, we're gonna have 3 corner share, if you have 3 kids. So, if you wanna know an easy way to move, information from graphs onto your T-chart, Jackson can share out. If you wanna know, and then you can name the 3 different things that happen in conferring, and then everyone can go and get a little clinic from the person that, and now you're, right, like sharing the wealth.
Yep,
So,
Yep.
so that's a way where you can extend that.
like the word, the clinic.
Yeah.
Clinic,
Now,
go to the clinic.
the thing that happened here is that time was sucked up because, we weren't prepared for the conference to fit the format of this. And that's been true all day long, and that's just how it goes when I'm trying to fishbowl into something new. But you save minutes if they already know that they're gonna have a conference and their job is to come to show the place where they're actually having that hard work. You know, Jackson then would have been ready to say, I'm working on, and I find this hard, right? And then that would have saved how many minutes, Joe?
He was really pretty quick. I
Yeah.
think it would have, total, after I subtracted about a minute and a half, you were down to 5 minutes. So
Okay.
so it really didn't take as long. I just think with technology, we always feel like it's taking a long time
Yeah.
because we expect it to be instant.
Right, yeah.
But he was actually pretty quick with being able to find the spot he wanted to show you.
So it was a 6.5, but if you're ready, it's a 5-minute.
Right.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so, okay. All right, any questions about what I did? Any ideas about what you would have done differently? Okay, so should we go on to the next one? Who's next then?